What if I told you that right now, while you're watching this video, your brain might be doing something extraordinary, something that only 1 in 100 people can actually do? Not a superpower, not a myth, something scientists have studied, documented, and are still trying to fully understand. And the craziest part, most people who have this ability have no idea they possess it. So here's the big question: do you have it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know for sure. Before we get into it, I want you to do something real quick. Think about a time you walked into a room and immediately felt something was off, before anyone said a word, before anything obvious happened. You just knew. Or maybe you've had a conversation with someone, and while they were smiling and saying everything was fine, something in your gut told you they were lying. If that's ever happened to you, pay close attention, because that's the first clue. What is this ability? Researchers call it type 2 interoceptive sensitivity, but let's just call it what it really is: an unusually deep connection between your brain and your body. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Your brain is constantly receiving thousands of signals from your body every single second. Your heartbeat, your breathing, tiny shifts in muscle tension, even changes in your gut. Most people's brains filter almost all of this out. It stays unconscious, invisible. But in roughly 1% of the population, the brain doesn't filter it the same way. Instead, it processes these internal signals with remarkable clarity, almost like having a second layer of perception that other people simply don't have access to. And what does that feel like from the inside? It feels like intuition, a deep gut feeling, an almost eerie ability to read situations before they fully unfold. Now, plot twist, this isn't just some spiritual or emotional trait. This is neuroscience. And what scientists discovered next completely changes how we understand human intelligence. The science behind it. In 2021, researchers at University College London conducted a study where they measured people's ability to detect their own heartbeat, one of the most reliable tests for interoceptive sensitivity. What they found was remarkable. People who scored highest on this test didn't just feel things more deeply. They made better decisions under pressure. They were more emotionally intelligent. And here's the one that really got scientists talking. They showed significantly higher scores on creative and analytical problem-solving tasks. In other words, this internal awareness wasn't just making them more emotionally tuned in, it was making them sharper. The researchers believed this was because their brains were essentially processing more data than the average person. Not from the outside world, but from within themselves. Think about that for a second. While everyone else is working with 100 pieces of information, these individuals are working with 150, and most of that extra data is invisible to the people around them. The signs, you have it. So how do you know if you're in that 1%? Here are the signs that show up consistently in research. First, you notice subtle changes in your own body that other people completely miss. A slight tightening in your chest when something doesn't feel right. A warm, calm sensation when you're about to make the right decision. Your body is basically giving you feedback in real time, and you're actually listening. Second, you're unusually good at detecting dishonesty. Not because you're cynical or suspicious, but because your brain is picking up on microsignals. The tiny hesitation, the slight change in breathing, the almost invisible shift in posture. Most people miss these completely. You don't. Third, you experience what psychologists call somatic empathy. When someone around you is anxious or sad, you don't just understand it intellectually, you feel something shift inside your own body. It's not just emotional, it's almost physical. Fourth, your intuition has a track record. Not 100% of the time, of course, but looking back, you can probably remember moments where something in your gut told you something important and it turned out to be right. That's not random, that's data. And fifth, and this one surprises most people, you tend to feel overwhelmed in loud, chaotic, or highly stimulating environments. That's because your nervous system is already processing so much internal data that too much external input genuinely overloads the system. Here's what gets really interesting though, because if you recognize yourself in those signs, the next question isn't just, do I have this ability? The real question is, what do you do with it? How to use this ability. Most people with high interoceptive sensitivity spend their entire lives thinking something is wrong with them. They feel too much, they overthink, they get overwhelmed. But scientists are now saying the opposite is true. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature, one that, when understood and developed, becomes one of the most powerful cognitive tools a person can have. Here's how to actually use it. First, start paying deliberate attention to your body signals, especially during decisions. Before you make a choice, pause and notice what you feel physically. Not emotionally, physically. That tightness, that calm, that restlessness, it's information. Second, protect your mental bandwidth. Because your brain is processing more than average, you genuinely need more recovery time, quiet time, alone time. This isn't weakness, it's maintenance for a high-performance system. And third, trust the pattern, not just the individual signal. Your intuition won't be right every single time, but over months and years, if you actually track the moments your gut spoke up and what happened next, you'll start to see a pattern that's hard to ignore. So here's the thing, most people will watch this video and move on. But if you recognized yourself in those signs, if something in this video made you think, wait, that's me? I want you to take that seriously. You're not broken, you're not too sensitive, you're not overthinking. You have a rare cognitive ability that 99% of people will never experience. The only question now is whether you're going to understand it or spend the rest of your life wondering why you feel things so differently from everyone around you. If you want to understand it, subscribe, because we cover exactly this kind of psychology every single week. And if you know someone who feels everything too deeply, share this video with them. It might be the most important thing they watch today. I'll see you in the next one.